back to another episode of the Money Mentor with Graham Home, and today we have a very special guest. Please welcome Dagmara. How are you?
Good, I'm really well. Thank you for having me.
Yep, absolute pleasure. So you've got your pin on there.
Yes,
as well.
that is the Hall of Fame pin for 2024. Very lucky to get that one, as well as Loyalty Award and the what was it? The
Hall of Fame, Loyalty, Community.
No, there was another one actually.
There's a couple. You got too many awards.
Yeah, you had too many awards.
Too many awards.
Too many achievements.
Yeah, well done. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself first for people that aren't part of the Infinity community. Who are you? Where are you based? Give us a bit of background.
Yeah, so Dagmara, I'm from North Brisbane. I've been living there pretty much my whole life since my family moved here. So originally my family's from Poland. We immigrated over here when I was 5 years old. So we're the first generation to leave the country. So my parents wanted a better life. So they moved over here in their mid-30s with 2 kids, speaking very little English. And we moved over here and they just set up a whole new life for us, and very grateful for what they have been able to provide for myself and my brother and my younger sister here.
It's a big move.
Yeah, it is a big move. And when I look back, when I think of myself when I was in my mid-30s, I can't imagine how they would have done that.
Yeah.
Moving to a whole new country where you didn't speak the language, 2 young kids, and started from scratch basically. So I was fortunate enough to have them say to me, you should buy a house. Like they did say to me, they did instill that in me.
But at a young age?
Yeah, because they did, when they got here, we rented for a little bit and they bought their first home here. So I did have that in the back of my head, but whether I listened to that for...
Yeah, it's hard, 20s, 30s.
Yeah, I did enjoy traveling, international traveling. As soon as I hit adulthood, I wanted to go travel overseas. So I worked a casual job, and at that time I would be spending my money on travel and going out. And
all the important things in life when you're younger.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, and then moving forward to, it was the COVID era of 2020.
Yep.
So in 2019, I decided, okay, I need to buckle down and purchase a property. So that's when I got that first investment, the first owner-occupied home, which I lived in. That was a 900 square metre family home.
So big block family home.
Yeah, big block family home.
Yep.
And I thought, yes, I've got big land.
I've made it.
Yes, made it, made it. I was told that land is king, that's where you make your money.
Buy land, they're not making it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Not townhouses or units, anything. So I was quite happy with that achievement. I did that on my own. I had already met Daryl at that time, so he was in the picture, but that was my side of things where I was like, okay, what am I going to do for me and our future together?
Okay.
And then come 2020, it was a time where I realized the uncertainty of a job. I work in the aviation industry, and so you realize at drop of a hat, everything just stops. So your job is not guaranteed, your income is not guaranteed, and I thought, okay, well, what am I going to do here? What else am I going to look for? How to make my life better and not be in a position where I'm scrounging around trying to find a job or trying to make it work. So at that time, 2020, I started looking to get an investment property.
Okay.
I have a younger sister who had a young family, and they were not able to find rentals because they hadn't rented before. They were both living with parents.
Yep.
And I thought, well, let me see if I can get an investment, and how about you guys live in it and you can rent off me. So I wanted to do that not just for myself, but also to help them as well.
It wasn't really an investment.
You wanted
to buy a place for them to live.
It wasn't, because I did modify a lot of things, which now I've learnt you just get in, buy an investment as is,
Yeah.
and you
Investment's
move on.
investment like a business,
Yeah.
not for family.
Yeah, I changed things. I spent about 16,000 modifying things, thinking,
Yeah.
oh, this is what our renter will want.
Yeah.
They want vinyl floors instead of carpet,
Yeah.
and all that. So was able to get that investment property,
Yep.
and that was starting to build. I was going through the financial side of things when I came across Infinity. I believe I came through the Success Resources. So
Okay.
Daryl and I were very into growth mindset. So we had Rich Dad Poor Dad book,
Right.
and Tony Robbins. So it got me through to seeing yourself on.
Well, I think I did a lot of tours with Robert and Kim Kiyosaki in
Yeah.
that era as well, with the financial uncertainties. So
That's right. So,
Yeah.
and I thought when I was going through the investment property finance side of things, I thought, I don't know anything.
right.
I have no education on this type of thing, and I need help. I need to find mentors. I need to find a team that will help me get through this. So I went on the November 2020 masterclass.
Right.
Yeah. I believe it was the same masterclass as our beautiful gold lady, Carrie,
Right.
actually, because I have a recollection of seeing this lady with 9 properties, thinking, oh my gosh, how did she do that? So
Yeah.
I have very vivid memory of
Okay.
that. And at the time, my broker was going back and forth with me saying, oh, look, the property was for 400,000, and he was saying, you need a certain amount more money to hit your borrowing capacity
Yep.
for the bank. And this is after I had signed up with Infinity already.
Right.
I gave my savings, and I thought I have to invest because I really believed in you and
Yep.
the education that you were providing.
Right.
And I remember he rang me and he said, oh, you need a little bit more, this much more to make the finance go through. And I was like, oh, I don't have it anymore. And he's like, what did you do with it? I said, oh, I invested in myself in this finance
Yeah.
company to help me. And he was like, what did you do that for? Your loan might not go through.
Yeah.
But I had such conviction and belief that this is the way forward, and I need help with
Okay.
this future. So it worked out in the end. The builder reduced the price a little bit
Yep.
for me to get the sale to go through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, but up until that point, I really didn't, about budgets, but you don't really sit down and create one. For me, it was more, where do I say, if I wanted something, I would save money,
Okay.
not budget money instead. So there was a lot of mindless spending that was going.
It's tap-taparoo.
Yeah, and say you would have a hard time at work, so you want to treat yourself by going out to the shops and going out and just refilling yourself that way. Or
Yep.
I would like to buy presents for Daryl or family,
Yep.
and because that makes me feel good when I'm buying things for others.
So how much was your home loan on the big block, and you had a home loan when we started?
Yeah. So that was $360
Okay.
on the home loan,
Yeah.
and $350 on the investment property.
And that was November 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, so really nearly 2021, Christmas time, banks, etc.
Yeah.
So last 4 years. Okay. And what's the balance of the home loan today?
It is.
Well, actually, you've bought and sold since then, right?
Yeah. So actually, the strategy was to downsize. So
Yep.
what we did was we looked back over and we thought the few years was just budgeting and getting that rapid repay plan going.
Yep.
And then I said, okay, it's time to sell this big block of land, even to do a small sacrifice to downsize, to be able to get that mortgage down even lower.
Yeah.
So that's what we sold.
So you sold the house
Yep.
and bought a new home?
Yes, bought a 3-bedroom townhouse.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you made a big financial decision. You went from the big 900 square block,
Yeah.
big family home, and bought a nice little townhouse.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was actually the best decision that I've made and we've made, because not only did that take a big chunk of the mortgage down, that townhouse has increased in value in the last year and a half that
So
we've
you
been
made
there.
a bit of a sacrifice, and I don't need the big house. I'll get smaller debt, practical townhouse, but then it kind of rewarded you because it went up so much in value.
Yes.
Just as all property does, not
Yeah.
necessarily just land.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you're still in an area you were happy with. Everything just didn't have the big block, the big house, just like a 3-bedroom, 2-story
yeah,
townhouse.
just a 3-bedroom, 2-story on a corner side. So we still got room for the dog there.
Yep.
It's in the same suburb that Daryl works, so he's
Okay.
two minutes. So we're saving on fuel in that
Perfect.
sense. We've got the gym walking distance, Coles walking distance, so everything's there for us, and we're still close to my mum and dad and my sister with her kids as well. So it was really,
Perfect.
really good.
So what was the home loan then on the townhouse when we started?
So it was 300,000 a loan. It was a $300,000
On the house or the townhouse?
on the townhouse. That was the limit for the loan there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what's the balance of the home loan today?
Is zero.
Zero?
It's zero.
In the last 4 years, zero.
Yep, it's zero.
Okay.
Zero, yeah.
And any investments?
Yes, we've got 2 investment properties, one in Melbourne and one in House and Land in Gympie that's just started to build. It's got the frame up at the moment, yeah.
So Melbourne and Queensland.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we sold the one at that investment property at Launton.
The first one.
Yeah, that
Okay.
first one, yeah.
And so that's paid the home loan off.
That paid the home
loan's
loan
done.
to zero.
Melbourne, Queensland investment property.
Yep.
No home loan. 2 investments all in 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. I remember sitting down at Melbourne Rem for one of the lunches, and Michael Lane actually sat next to
Yeah.
us, and then Beck came along and sat there too, and she was just saying hello and asking us about our story. And I was just like, oh yeah, just paid off the home loan, really
full.
hard, yeah, in full. And she's like, oh, how long? Oh, for 4 years. You know? I was like, what? So yeah, it was really surreal moment at that point. Yeah.
So explain a little bit more on the journey from having the big house to making the decision to downsize a bit and shrink the debt and then sell the other investment. What are some of the things you've learnt along the way to help you make these decisions? Because it's not taken lightly to go sell a big 3-4 bedroom home on a 900 square block to get a townhouse. Why that thought process? What is it that you've learned along the way to make you make these decisions or help make these decisions?
Yeah. Well, I thought, what will get us quicker to where we want to go, and that was making that sacrifice, letting go of that thought, I'm going to lose so much land where I once thought we can subdivide it or put a granny flat on it. So it's just that that delayed gratification. We would love to be in a house eventually, but with no debt, right? We don't want to be giving our hard-earned money to the banks in interest daily, right? Daily. So that was that thought process of, well, let's make that small sacrifice for a long-term gain, because when in 10 years' time, when we're 50, we're going to be in a position where we'll have a nice house, our family will be close by, we're not going to having to be worried about where the mortgage is coming from.
So really everything's profit now. You own the home, the townhouse.
Yeah.
And you've got investments. So if you decide you want to sell the townhouse and buy a big home again, you could sell the townhouse, sell one of the investments, still keep an investment and have a big new home with no debt.
Exactly, and that's the plan.
Very smart.
That's the plan. So that's something that I've learned, is to let go of the emotion of it as well, and think logically. Is that if you hold on to that emotion, it can take you back. You'll wish you had made logical decisions that make more sense for your
Yep.
future as a family.
Less emotion, more logic.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, you started this journey more so on your own?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
How long before Daryl sort of came into the mix with it all?
So when I was invited to the Melbourne Ram,
Yep.
because that was at that point I was at zero, so had all that equity to use.
Yep.
And Louis called up and he said, "Would you like to go to Melbourne Ram?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely."
Just bring a jacket.
Yeah, that's right. I actually signed up for the other one, not Melbourne, but he said, "Would you like to come
Yeah.
to Melbourne?" I thought,
Yeah,
"Oh,
just the event was in
yeah,
Melbourne.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. Let's do that." And the next day I thought, well, this is a good opportunity to bring Daryl on board and see what he can see what I've been doing for these years, because before he just kind of watched what I was
Right.
doing and not really understanding, but I think it started to click for him when I showed him, hey, look at my home loan, there's zero,
Yeah.
it's a zero. Actually, I left 1 cent in there to make it feel real
Okay.
in the home loan.
It was 1 cent owing.
Yeah, 1 cent owing. And he said, yeah, that would be cool. Let's go down to Melbourne. And so we went to Melbourne Rem and we got their dinner. Our flight was a little bit delayed, so we came in sort of halfway through the dinner.
Yep.
But he sat down and we started, the testimonials were happening
Right.
at that time. And he started to see everyone's stories and
Right.
journeys and what they had been able to achieve. And I remember at the dinner table, he looked at me and he goes, "We need to get more houses." And I said back to him, "I know, this is what
That's why we're here.
this is what I've been doing."
And that's when you did Queensland, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So after that, we joined finances, he joined Infinity.
Merged forces.
Yes.
Okay.
And that obviously brought the serviceability up. And that Luke called us within a couple of weeks and we were presented with Gympie. Yeah,
Very good.
You,
So tell me, what are some of the things I mean, obviously you've learnt a lot. As you're learning, you've made decisions to downsize the home, to keep investing. What are some of the key takeaways you'd say you've had over the last sort of 4 or so years? What are some 2 or 3 of the big learnings?
Yeah. Big learning is that you can do things on your own, you can research things on your own, but it pays to get yourself around a group of people. I call it a mastermind group, to be able to help you with things and help you understand. So you want experts on your side. Like
Yep.
you talk about, you want a personal trainer for your wealth, but with finances and budgeting and financial literacy, you want people on your side. You want
can cut your own
experts.
hair, but it might not look as good as
Yeah.
the hairdresser, right?
Yeah,
Or the barber.
Exactly. So that's a big learning, is that sometimes I thought I would always like to do things by myself. I
Yep.
never asked for help, and I just found it, just wanted to be proud and do things on my own. But
Okay.
once you start to reach out and ask for help, it's not that you failed, it's you are asking for help because there are people that are experts that
Yep.
will help you in that scenario.
Okay. How important is budgeting? Because you've paid your home off, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
do you really need to have a budget? Like, couldn't you just spend everything you earn?
No way.
No, why not?
No, because then you'll get yourself back in the same boat as you were before, right?
Okay.
And you want to have a vision for your life. Write down, what I've learned is having a vision and goals, writing them down and having that in your head, and then how can I get there?
Yep.
And a budget is going to help you get there, because you're not mindlessly and aimlessly throwing your money or your resources into areas where they're being wasted. You want your money and every dollar that you earn to work for you, not against you, and get yourself into debt. So even though I'm mortgage free and got investment properties, as you always say, what's better than 121, right?
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
So
It's a good start. It
yeah,
helps.
yeah, absolutely. So
So you're still sticking to a budget, even
Yeah.
though the home's paid off.
absolutely, yeah.
So what's your food, fuel and fun?
360.
And that's for puppy?
Yep.
And 2 adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
pretty low.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
With Daryl working so close by, and he's saving a lot of money on fuel as well, and because he works nights at a hospitality industry, he's able to get his meals there as well, so that
Right.
helps a lot.
Okay.
But budget is definitely still important, because you're seeing where your money's going and you're watching it, where it's going.
So, where to from? So, home's fully paid off.
Yep.
2 investment properties underway. What's the overall goal for yourself and Daryl now?
Yeah, so I look at it in short term, long term. Say short term, 5 to 10 years, we'd love to be back in a family home,
Okay.
expanding our family together a little bit as well. And I'd love to be in a scenario where I could have my mum living with us, so like a dual occupancy type of arrangement. So my mum and dad is just about to sell their home as well, very, very soon. They're just preparing for that. That's in North Brisbane as well.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they've decided to go separate ways after that. So it's just now helping what is the best thing for my mum.
Yeah.
She will be 70 this year, so she's got options, of course, with the sale of the home that they need to split.
Or you maybe like to have her with you guys.
Yeah. I was looking around in the same area, so we're still close to our sister. There is homes with granny flats that are connected, and there's downstairs, upstairs type of scenario. So for the short term, we'd love to have something like that to be together, expand our family, and just be with each other together. And my sister has young kids, and we want to help her and help each other as well. And then long term, well, the world's your oyster, right? If you're taking care of things, but would love to live by the water or somewhere around nature. So eventually up or down the coast, down the line. Yeah.
Okay, well, watch this space. We'll have to do some
Yeah.
tweaking Maybe it's time to upgrade and sell the townhome and get a dual living property, and mum can come in as well and see if we can, so hopefully that works as well. Hopefully mum and Daryl get on and everything's great. Okay. And planning family, more pets. What's the household plans in the future?
Yeah, we'd love to start a family now, so a baby with us, that would be amazing.
Mum will very much come in handy.
Yes, especially since she's just freshly retired. She was a nurse all her life, so she loves it. She takes care of my younger sister's kids to give her a little bit of a break too, so she would absolutely love that. That's her purpose now, is to help her grandchildren as well. So that's what the scenario would look like. And Daryl's mum's close by as well, and some siblings too. So yeah, that's definitely what the household would look like.
It must be a good feeling to know, well, even right now, home's paid off. We wanted to have a family right now. We've got no burden.
Yeah, and that's what I always thought. I worked so hard and sacrificed, because I thought when eventually I do start a family, I don't want to be forced to go back to work or have to use daycare. I believe it's my responsibility to look after my own child. So to be able to have time with a baby and not be stressing about finances or fighting over finances.
If the mortgage is paid off, right? So you just Daryl, go to work, pay the bills, pay the groceries, spend time with Bub, happy days.
It's just such a good feeling to think that that's what we've been able to achieve and got us to that point as well. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
So what are some learnings that you would share with people sitting at home going, okay, well, I don't know what this infinity nonsense is, but like what Dagmara said, I kind of relate to what she's telling me. I'd love to be able to pay my home off and raise a family. Like, what are some of the key things you've learned along the way that you could share with someone at home?
Yeah, I think the first thing is just take a reality check. Sit down with your partner or your family and talk together and communicate and say, okay, what do we have now and where do we want to be? Because sometimes you go through life and you just don't communicate to your partner or your kids, and you just aimlessly flowing through life, and you look back and go, oh, okay, I'm 60 now, what just happened, right? So I think sit down, have a hard conversation of where we're at and where do we want to be, and put goals and a vision and get buy-in from your partner, from your family, from your kids, and write it out and put a plan together, a budget together, and start from there. That's the first thing. And then check in and review how you're going with those goals and those visions. That's the main thing. When you start from something so basic like that, you can already achieve a lot. It's the mindset that has to change, and then everything else will flow through in that way.
So mindset, communication, and budget.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
they're three very, very good.
Yeah.
How long did you find that it took for your mindset to change? So, from tap, do whatever you want, buy stuff, to, oh, hang on, geez, we've got to have a budget now. How hard or easy and how long was that shift for you?
I would probably say it took me maybe 6 to 12 months, actually. Like the budget was there, but it was that mind frame of starting to let go of those things that you did to make you feel good, the spending money because you were trying to get over a hard week or making someone else feel better. It took a while for me, even though the budget was in place, but you would think, maybe I do need that. It takes some time, but then you realize, you look back over when I got a monthly review, you go, oh, you're in a negative this month. Like, oh dear, okay. I need to
sort this out. I need to sort my shit out.
Yeah, sort it out and just review again. So it can take some time, but once it clicks, it really does click. Yeah.
And how do you find the community engagement? Obviously, being able to share with everyone and the events and talk. Is that something that you find is good to lean on others and appreciate? Because you've been sharing quite a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
How important is that compared to just sort of running your own race and you and Daryl at home and, oh yeah, we're going to chip away? How important is it to be able to network with all of those people and pick each other's brains?
Yeah. I have to say it's the best part, and I think it's the most important part. So you could go a few weeks where something's happened in your life and you've overspent or emotions got the better of you, and you jump on a monthly accountability meeting and you hear everyone's stories, or you get some more education and you realize, okay, yes, you get motivated again and you just click again. So the engagement is amazing in that way. And then going to REMS or being able to talk to people through the Facebook group, and you look at every day you open up, you see their wonderful stories and achievements, and sometimes you can relate to someone and you can ask them a question, or how did you do this? Because there's some people that are really great at making meal plans, and there's others are really great at finding other ways that you'll be able to save money. So it's honestly the best part, and I've made some really great friends at the REMS, and that you always find something new about someone and a better way of doing things when you have that.
So you're constantly learning.
Yeah.
So it's not like, okay, I paid the house off, that's it. You're still learning every day how to improve things.
Absolutely, and not only from yourself, but all the team members, the RMs, the finance strats, the wealth team, and the community as well.
So do you find that as time goes on, you don't need any of that, or are you still leaning on your relationship manager and team? How much involvement are you having on the way?
Yeah, it's now that at the point I'm at now, it's less, but I know that they're always there, just a phone call away. If I need a question, I'll reach out to Ben, who's my finance strat, and say, hey, I've got this idea. Do you think maybe this will work? Because I thought at one point we could sell off everything and rent vest, but he's the expert, right? So he said, no, I think this would we want to go down this
There's
strategy.
no capital gains tax on the home, right?
Yeah.
That's been going up quite a lot.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So I'm like, okay, you're the expert. I'm going to listen to you. So you can have ideas of your own, but that's why you have a team of people to be able to bounce those ideas off.
Very good.
Yeah.
You should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Really proud
Thank
of
you very
yourself.
much. Yeah.
Now, the home loan's paid off. We're obviously thinking start a family, maybe, couple of investments. I think it'd be good to chat again in maybe 6 months' time about where to from here. Did we decide to start a family, or did we decide to do more investments, or have we upgraded the home? I think it'd be really good for people to sort of follow along on the journey, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
But before, have you got any questions for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. So I wanted to ask, have you always been confident on stage? So
Absolutely
how
not.
were you nervous at your first events? How did you get through that?
So to share a story, I mean, I actually hate public speaking. Never liked it, hated it, avoided it at all costs. Previous to 2019 on stage, I'd only do little free information talks at local bowling clubs, you know.
Yeah.
We did the, like at Kirrawee and Cronulla and Bella Vista, Castle Hill, Campbelltown, just little talks to sort of 50, 100 people in a room, not really, you know, full-on stuff. And I remember the very first stage I did was probably 4,000, 6,000 people in Sydney, and I had 45 minutes, and the Rosewalls are there, and Megan and Jeremy were backstage, and I'm freaking out, and I'm sweating profusely, and I got to do 65 nervous P's, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go out there, and Beck grabbed me, she's like, hey, you're not nervous, you're excited.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
She's like, that feeling. I'm like, yeah. She's like, you're not nervous. That's just excited energy. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, because nobody in that fucking room knows half as much about what you're about to teach them. And I was like, oh. She goes, now go to your last nervous wee and get on that fucking stage. I was like, oh, okay. And it was really interesting, that process of you're not nervous, you're excited. Because I was excited, but I was nervous. I was scared, right?
Yeah.
Oh, people this, people that. And I went out there and it was horrific.
Yeah.
The cameraman couldn't follow me because I have the camera, because it's such a big hall, right? Thousands of people. And I went from side to side. I paced from left to right to left to right to left. And I did a 60-minute presentation. I was trying to condense to 45 minutes. And I finished in 22 and a half minutes. Anyway, Megan, Jeremy, Craig, Kim, couple of people, the Shepherds coming backstage. And I'm like, and they're like, oh, off you go. And they're like, what do you mean? We're not ready. They hadn't been briefed, anything, and I just got pushed out onto stage because I'd finished. I was like, hey, listen to these beautiful people that we've done it for. Once that was out of my system, we flew to Melbourne the next day, and I nailed it. And then did okay. But then the next one, I think on that end of that week or early next week, was Brisbane, and I crushed it. So sort of confidence built that I'm like, I'm out there, I've done one now. I didn't die. You know, I didn't fall over. Who cares? Whatever. So by the second one was better in Melbourne, but Brisbane was amazing. Like wild results compared to any other speaker. So, no, never, ever did I want to be a public speaker. Did I think I would do it? I really tried to avoid it at all costs. It was not on my bingo card. Still to this day, I get nervous. I say I don't want to do it. I crack the shits before we turn the computer on. I fluff around backstage and I don't like this, and I make them change things and move them. It's my nervous way, and everyone knows by now. Like Louis and Alex, they're all running around and they're like, just let him change whatever he wants to. It's kind of my way of processing and adjusting to being in the room and the stage. If I focus on all these other things, I won't focus on 700 people or 7,000 people in the room. So
you can't tell though. You can't tell. You do it smoothly.
I think because like I have slides to teach people things, but like I don't use presenter mode. I don't use cues. There's no script. It's my brain, right? So I think because it's more naturally conversationally how I, if we're not on camera, I'm the same. So I think for that reason it comes out quite natural. Compared to a lot of people who need to get on the whiteboard or follow a script or read a script or teleprompter. So it appears to be amazing, but I don't like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy watching the light bulb moments and the Q&A, and I love people nodding in the audience and coming up to me. Like, I love the teaching part, like I thrive on that, but I don't enjoy the public speaking part.
Yeah.
Because no matter what room you're in, someone's judging you, someone's looking at
That's
you.
right,
So, that person, he needs to keep training and lose more weight, or I don't like his suit or clothes, or well, I haven't worn a suit in years. But so there's always something going through your head. Someone's sitting there and their arms are crossed and scouring at you. I'm like, it's their problem.
Body language, you can tell.
But so never, ever, ever was it on my bingo card to do public speaking.
Well done. You're really great at it.
Thank you.
It's a good inspiration to know that it was built, right? It just wasn't natural.
It was just organically grew over time, and it was a skill that I've kind of had to develop. The only practice I've had to develop it is by watching a couple of other speakers. And going to some events, but it's a skill that I've just had to really develop. And people want what I have to share, so I've just got to run with it.
Well, thank you for that. Just one other question would be, what's the most valuable lesson you've learnt from failure?
I don't consider anything a mistake. So what people call mistakes, I call lessons. I think some of the biggest, lessons or learnings in there from failure, look, nobody has ever been successful without failure. And if they say they have, look out, because they're about to fail and fail fast. I like to fail quickly now. I like to know things don't work extremely fast. All of the success comes in the failure and the learnings. It's only a mistake if you do it again. So I like things to break really fast and then fix them really fast as well. As soon as they break, you get so many learnings from that, and you can fix it really quickly. It's like, don't go left, go right. And it's very, like, left was broken, right is correct. So, but some other big learnings in, like, failures and lessons or mistakes, but I prefer to call them lessons, be really humble. Whilst I don't appear to be humble for what we do, I know there's no one as big and as great, and the thousands of client results every year. So I can be extremely confident, not arrogant deliberately, but come across as egotistical or arrogant because I'm so self-confident and assured in the results we have. But then I look at some other people in my industry that are where I was 10 years ago. So be a little bit humble in what you do. Don't be too flashy, don't be too out there, because everyone wants to see somebody successful fail. But I think the biggest one is karma. It's just you shouldn't tell someone to do anything you wouldn't tell your mother, brother, sister, grandparents, etc. to do. Everything needs to be well thought through. And I've really learnt that if you put people first, profits last, everything else just takes care of itself.
Absolutely.
And the other big learning would be who you associate with. And the biggest thing I think for me from any failure has been who I chose to associate with and who I surrounded myself with. That's probably one of my biggest life learnings. And in that, I say to people, everything in your life right now is a reflection of yourself. So when I've had massive failures, massive issues, those decisions were associated with, this person did this to me, or this person. They were decisions that I made. And the moment in life that I decided to own that I chose to do business with that person, or befriend that person, or align with that business, once you own that, it really sets you free.
It's all about accountability, right?
Self-account, like have a look in the mirror, I spent all of it. It's like, the shadow. I found all my money problems and I'm checking my shadow in the mirror. Right? It's like, it's me. Hey, it's me, I'm the problem. So one of the biggest lessons would be everything happening in life is an absolute reflection of yourself.
Absolutely.
It's not the government's fault, friends and family, businesses. It's my fault. I either do or I do not. And if I can own that I shouldn't have done that, or I should do this. Once I know what I shouldn't do, and once I know what I should do, it's very easy. Do what you should do. And stop doing all the things you shouldn't do.
And that's exactly why you should take that time to sit down and go, okay, where am I at now? Because I got myself here. Nobody else did. So how do I go moving forward?
You only have yourself to blame or thank. So that's a really big lesson
Yeah.
for me, and mentors. So I've got some really, really strong mentors in my world and Beck's world that allow us to really take stock of where we are, where we've come from, and where we're headed, and that's really important too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the failures are the biggest one. Like fail fast, fail forward, fail as much as you can because it's the only way you'll learn.
Yeah, and it's good to know that even yourself, yourself and Beck still have mentors
Totally.
that you look out.
Talk to
look
them
out for.
daily.
Yeah,
Absolutely talk to
you
them daily.
Did you learn a lot on Necker Island from?
Necker Island was
Yeah.
really cool. I took a bit of a backseat and made sure that a lot of the clients and the team that came spent a lot of time around Sir Richard.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of quality time, but sort of focused on all of them. But you can always learn. We were all learning from each other on the island,
Yeah.
learning from Sir Richard himself. It's quite interesting, actually. We had a friend of ours and lawyer beat him in chess multiple times. So big
Yeah,
props to
yeah.
Warren. He sort of choked him and said, "Get the fuck off my island."
Yeah.
And he turned the board around and went, "Again, let's
Yeah,
play again."
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and we had Cam and Kaylee. Poor Kaylee woke up every morning thinking she was an island widow because Cam had a date with Sir Richard. So he was up,
Right.
the sun was up every morning and they were off playing tennis
Yeah, yeah.
because Cam keep beating him at tennis. But
Yeah.
then he'd beat him and it was very, so he's very competitive. But it was interesting to see somebody at his age
Yeah.
exercise for 4 hours a day.
Yeah, that was very interesting to find
Not
out.
eat after sundown,
Yeah,
5,
yeah.
6 p.m. He doesn't eat. He's up. He exercises 4 hours a day.
Mm.
Eats breakfast, lunch, but there's nothing of a night time.
Yep.
His health is his entire regimen. But there's some really big learnings in there around giving back.
Yep.
Some crazy things I didn't even know that Sir Richard had done around global initiatives and stuff. So some really cool learnings there that'll, still processing. It's only last couple of months, but still processing, but some really cool stuff. And we talk to our mentors daily,
Yeah.
wherever
That's awesome.
possible.
Yep.
Whether it's just a check-in and a hey, or hey, I'm dealing with this, how would you process
Yeah,
that? But everybody has to have somebody that they look up to that's already gone down that path. Otherwise, you'll fail daily because every
Yeah,
day we're experiencing something new. So if I've got those people to check in with, and over time you make sharper, shorter, more rapid decisions,
Yep.
and you kind of know. But there's still things you got to check in with other people because you make the wrong decision. Sometimes it's very hard to undo.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. I remember the award now, Rising Star.
Ah,
Rising Star, Loyalty and Hall of Fame.
Loyalty and Hall of Fame. There you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
So.
Triple threat.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Let's see if there's any more awards this year. Well done. It's been a pleasure.
Yep. Thank you
And
so much.
we will get together again in about 6 months and we'll follow the journey with everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.
Appreciate you and the team as always. Yeah.
Likewise. Thanks, Dagmara.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, we'll show you FGP.